Hi guys, how are you today? Welcome back to my channel Adventures in America. Today we're going to talk about how to apply for a tourist visa in the Philippines. As you know, there are a lot of changes with regards to the immigration requirements for those who wanted to travel in the Philippines. Because of the pandemic, the Philippine government has been imposing travel restrictions regarding the entry of foreign nationals into the Philippines. And some of these restrictions include the requirement of a Philippine tourist visa or a non-immigrant visa before entering the Philippines. In this video, I'm going to discuss where to apply for a non-immigrant or a tourist visa, the requirements that needed to be submitted, and the cost. Please take note that you can only apply for a visa abroad within the consular jurisdiction of a certain consulate or an embassy. For example, if you live in New York, you can apply in New York's consulate. However, if you live in Los Angeles and you wanted to apply for a visa, you cannot apply to the New York embassy or consulate because it is outside its consular jurisdiction. The visa that you are going to apply is the 9A visa or a non-immigrant visa, or it's also known as the temporary visitor's visa. Let's get started. So I wanted to discuss with you the reminders before applying for a visa, and here are the reminders. Immigration authorities will not allow entry into Philippine airports and seaports the following foreign nationals: those holding non-machine readable passports, or those previously deported from the Philippines or included in the blacklist order of the Department of Foreign Affairs or Bureau of Immigration, or those with incomplete documentation, or those with circumstances that would render them inadmissible for entry, even with a valid passport and visa issued by a Philippine consulate. Please take note that some of the requirements imposed by a certain consulate may be different from another consulate because of the circumstances or depending on what kind of documents they needed from you, and also the processing time can also vary depending on the volume of the application. For all visa applications and requirements must be sent by mail or courier. Do not use a FedEx. The consulate will only accept machine-readable passports and e-passports or biometric passports that are valid at least 6 months from applicant's departure date and with at least one blank passport visa page. The visa officer can request additional documents to determine whether or not the applicant can be issued a visa. Depending on the applicant's passport, visa processing will take even 7 to 10 business days, excluding the time it will take for your visa to be delivered. The application may require clearance from other government agencies in the Philippines, so adjust your travel schedule accordingly. It is suggested that a ticketed reservation be only made when the visa application has been approved. No refund of the visa fee will be given when the application has been denied or visa has been issued but was not used or could not be used during its validity period. The most frequently applied visa are those coming from foreign nationals married to Filipinos and those who are former Filipino citizens who are not currently dual citizens. So let's go over the specific requirements for foreign nationals married to a Filipino citizen. Number 1, the requirements must be submitted by mail or courier and do not use FedEx. Number 2, per Bureau of Immigration regulation, the marriage must be valid according to the Family Code of the Philippines. Number 3, complete the application form. You must produce 2 copies of the application form and it must contain a photo, complete information, the reason for your visit, and it must be notarized and signed by you. Usually the cost for notarization here in the US, if you go to UPS, it's $5 per signature. So if you have 2 application form, you are going to pay $10 for the 2 signatures. Requirement is the original and photocopy of your foreign passport with at least 6 months validity or beyond. Number 5 requirement is a 2x2 photo taken within the last 6 months, and you need to put like a signature on top of the picture when you attach that picture to the application. Number 6, a photocopy of the applicant's round-trip flight itinerary or an unpaid reservation to or from his country of destination. Number 7, proof of financial capacity. An example would be statements from your banks or credit cards, or ownership of real estate properties, or ownership of a business in the foreign country. You are going to need more than one type of proof of financial capacity. This is just to show that you are able to support yourself while staying in the Philippines. Number 8, cashier's check or postal money order payable to the Philippine consulate. For example, payable to the Philippine consulate of Los Angeles, and the amount of the visa is $30 for a single entry. You can get a cashier's check from your own bank, or you can also use a money order. Usually I get these money orders from Walmart, but they also charge a small fee. You are going to need an original or photocopy of the marriage certificate, and also you needed a valid copy of the passport of the Filipino national. The next requirement is the letter request signed by the Filipino spouse, and it should be addressed to the Philippine consulate requesting that a Philippine visa be issued to the foreign spouse. You are also going to need a self-addressed envelope with prepaid postage. It is also needed that the visa holder must book an accredited quarantine facility and a COVID testing provider. The requirements are also the same for foreign parents and foreign children, except that the foreign parent and children must provide proof of filiation, such as a birth certificate, and also an original and a copy of the passport must be valid for at least 6 months. There are situations that a foreign parent is not married to a Filipino national, and aside from the requirements I've mentioned, there is an additional requirement, and I'm going to read the requirement to you. There should be a notarized affidavit of request, consent, and guarantee executed by the Filipino parent. This affidavit must be presented before immigration officials at the port of entry in the Philippines. The Philippine Bureau of Immigration will issue a waiver of exclusion ground, or WEG, upon the minor's arrival in the Philippines. How much is the cost of the visa? It depends. If you are a national of a country that has a valid visa agreement with the Philippines, the cost will be $30 for a 3 months validity or a single entry, and it's $60 for a 6 months validity, and $90 for 12 months validity. But the cost is higher if your country does not have a visa agreement with the Philippines. So make sure that you check the Philippine consulate's website for specific countries to determine if that country has a valid visa agreement with the Philippines or not, because it will determine the cost of your visa. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any other questions or comments, please post your comments down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video.